Hi everyone, my name is Norman. I run the blog nimbleneedles.com and today I want to show you how to knit the 3-needle bind-off. The 3-needle bind-off or cast-off is a very neat way to join two pieces in stockinette stitch together without seaming or grafting. You only need your knitting needles, no tapestry needle or anything else. In this video I'm going to show you the standard method of knitting this bind-off technique, but I'm also going to show you ways to make it easier to knit, and at the very end of this video I'm also going to show you some very fun and interesting variations for garter stitch and ribbings and so on. So let's dive right into it. The standard 3-needle bind-off works best with stockinette stitch. Before you can join these two pieces, you need to make sure that you have an equal number of stitches on both needles. If you don't have an equal number, you need to decrease first, otherwise it won't work out. And then you need to align these two pieces with the wrong side, meaning the purl side, facing each other, like so. And then you can either use the tail or a new yarn. It doesn't really matter. I'm using a contrasting yarn here so you can see things a little bit better. And then what you have to do is you have to pick up a third needle and insert it into the first stitch as if to knit, and then insert it into the first stitch on the second needle as if to knit as well. And then you have to wrap the yarn around the needle counterclockwise and knit these two stitches together. This will be quite a bit easier for English knitters, but as you can see it works out for continental as well. Let's do that one more time. Insert into the first stitch on the first needle and insert into the first stitch on the second needle, and then knit these two together, knit these two together and drop these stitches. And now you should have two stitches on your third needle, and what you have to do now is you have to bind it off the regular way, so lift it over the first stitch and pull tight. And there's your first bind-off stitch. Let's do it one more time. You have to knit together another set of stitches, like so. Drop these two stitches and then lift the stitch over the first stitch to bind off. One more time. So knit together two stitches, and then lift the second stitch over the first one. Now here's the problem I have with most standard ways of explaining this technique. They make it appear like it was one technique, but in fact there are two separate techniques. First, you're knitting two pieces together and then you're binding them off, but it's only one of so many combinations. So what I usually do is, before I start, I slip the stitches to the third needle. So I start with the back needle and then slip the first stitch on the first, and so on. I slip them on a separate needle. Now I slipped all stitches to the separate needle, and maybe you can already see what I did here. Because if I told you to knit two together here, you wouldn't even watch this video. You knew how to do that. And maybe this will also show you, well, the possibilities. Because instead of knitting two together, you can also knit two together through the back loop. Or you can purl two together, or whatever other decrease you want to use. You don't have to knit them together. You can also purl them together depending on your pattern. And here's one more trick. You don't need to bind off these stitches either. You can just continue knitting them together and thereby joining this piece to the back piece, and then just continue knitting. Now, why would you want to knit two pieces together like this? Well, imagine you were knitting a little hoodie and you wanted to have a front pocket. Well, here is the start, and then you would have to knit it together on the other side as well, and there's no bind off required. And let me show you something else. This is one of my newest sock designs, and here I started with a provisional cast on, then I knit some ribbings and then the hem, and then I joined the provisional cast on to the hem here, and I didn't bind off either. So this technique really is about a lot of possibilities, but there's more yet. So here are two little swatches in a 2x2 rib, and you can knit them together with a 3 needle bind off as well. You just need to adjust the technique according to the pattern in front of you. So I slipped all these stitches to the separate needle, and now we can knit them together. So knit 2 together, knit 2 together, bind off, then purl 2 together, bind off, purl 2 together, bind off, knit 2 together, and so on. And if this was garter stitch or a 3x3 rib or whatever, you would simply adjust the way you knit these together according to your pattern. You purl 2 together, a purl stitch, and you knit 2 together, a knit stitch, and that's what you have to do. And this is what it looks like from the wrong side. So you clearly have little purl ridges here and knit stitches here. And I think it's really important to remember that you can bind off any kind of pattern with a 3 needle bind off and not just stockinette stitch. So to sum it up, I really want you to be aware of the fact that the 3 needle bind off is not a static technique, and there's not just one way of knitting it. I mean, you can certainly knit it like that, but you can also knit it like, knit it like that, or just, you know, knit 2 pieces together, and you can combine it with any stitch you want and with any bind off technique. And you don't necessarily need to align the pieces like this. I mean, sometimes you want the ridge to be invisible, but here's one of my little mushrooms pattern that is available for free on my blog, and here I didn't want invisible. I wanted a nice little overhang for this cap here, so I adjusted the 3 needle bind off according to my wants, and that's what I want you to know. Just, you know, get creative with this technique and don't just use it for stockinette stitch. Anyway, I really hope I was able to show you the 3 needle bind off and its many variations. Please give me a big thumbs up if you liked this video. Comment with your feedback or your questions. And of course, consider subscribing to my channel in case you don't want to miss any new tutorials and videos. Happy knitting and enjoy the rest of your day.